Which means you have to take each situation and judge it differently, which is exactly what Andrew said.
So we should appeal to authority?
I'm gonna let Andrew speak.
And before that, I want to, since the conversation surrounding me, is that I am in a position where me and his, truths align. And this is gonna, go to what he said earlier about me being saved or not, and then I'll address some of the general theme. I am, just as he is, at the same opportunities to be saved. Now, of course, I don't know what will happen in the future. Maybe, Andrew will believe, theism, and he won't believe in God, and then, he can just go to hell because that's what he decided to do. Maybe he decides to murder somebody, and, he decides he doesn't want to repent, and then he can be judged when he gets up there, right? But the point is that we are at same odds of being brought to judgment, and depending on that judgment, if this God even exists, whether or not we go to heaven. There's no difference between me and him because we still hold to the same tenets, is that we follow Jesus' teachings, we believe Jesus died on the cross and was resurrected 3 days later, we read Scripture, we base our lives off it, we try to follow the commandments as well as possible, and that is basically what sums it up. That is what is required. And as long as we both are able to hold to that as honestly and capably as possible, in accordance to what Scripture promises, if this, is the truth, then we'll have the same odds. That's number one. Number two is my bar for into Trinitarianism is so low because I've already been a Trinitarian. If I get a revelation and God tells me that, Trinity is, what it is, Jesus is God, Holy Spirit is God, He's God too, then shit, I will convert to Trinitarianism. The bar is set very low. But, and I've always been, open to arguments for Trinitarianism, but at least from what Andrew has already tried and from what I've already heard from other people, I'm not convinced. So tomorrow, maybe he'll say something, that converts me. I don't know. But for now, I hold to no belief that the Trinity is at all the way to be.
So basically, if I understand correctly, Andrew has nothing to lose and everything to gain. If he can convert you, then everything remains the same. If he does convert you, he's won.
Can I say something? I also, I believe in Scripture, right? But I don't identify myself with any of these names like Trinitarian, Unitarian, whatever they call themselves, But I agree. I used to call myself a Trinitarian and protect the scripture, the description of the Trinity, protect it. And when I think about it now today, I'm like, bro, it's so retarded. I'm sorry that I say that word, but it's so stupid. What a stupid fucking concept, Trinity. Bro, it's so stupid, and the only reason you fucking protect it, is because it's been teached to you. It's been teached to you. You have no thought of your own. No thought. When you think about it, right? Let me say something. Let me say a good quote, right? The best manipulation does not force your choice. It makes you believe it was always yours, right? So when you think about that, and every decision you made in your life, did you make that decision by your own choice, or did you make that decision because the options were given to you?
Well, why don't you tell us, Fatima, hold on, Fatima, what's so stupid about it?
About what?
What you just talked about. You said it was
Trinity.
totally fucking stupid. The Trinity.
The Trinity.
What's so stupid
I think
about
it is too.
The Trinity. What is stupid about it? Do you want to hear the explanation?
I want you to give me one reason what's so stupid about the Trinity.
Okay, listen, I'll give you quickly one. I'm a bit of a funny one too. So Trinitarians, they say 3 in 1, right?
No.
They say God is 3 in 1.
They say God is three persons in one being.
Why don't you just forget about what people say and tell me one thing that's so stupid about the Trinity? Or maybe you can't do that.
I'm about to. That's why I asked you. They say 3 in 1, so 3 persons in 1. It doesn't matter. Certain 3 in 1.
Go ahead.
I don't even understand why they say 3 in 1. You basically give 3.
Is that why you think it's so stupid? Because you don't understand?
Because it would even make more sense.
Do you think it's so stupid because you do not understand?
No, I understand, Steve, but listen to me.
I am listening to you.
I'm almost finished, and then you'll understand what I'm trying to say, okay? So they say 3 in 1, and I'm like, even that concept is stupid. It would even make more sense if they say 1 in 3. 3 in 1, I mean, what do you mean 3 in 1?
Hell yeah, 1 in 3. There's your answer, Uncle Steve.
Okay, so 3 and 1 is completely fucking stupid, but 1 and 3 makes sense?
That's what she said. You got it.
I don't believe that concept either.
But that is what you just said, right?
No, but that would even...
No, you didn't say that.
Yes, I said that. No, but I meant that would even make more... sense of the concept of the Trinity.
Okay.
That the concept of 3 in 1.
Okay, well, thank you for saying one thing why you believe it's totally stupid. Thank you.
I mean, yes,
Tweety birds.
it's obviously, I mean,
Fucking
it's
Tweety birds.
made to control control people, fear control people. I believe in biblical.
That's true. That is true. I agree.
Not the way. I don't believe in the physical church, and I also believe in other scriptures from other teachings like Buddhism or Hinduism.
So you believe in God?
Yes, I don't believe in God in the sky like the Bible doesn't also teach that, by the way, and other scriptures from other teachings like Hinduism, Buddhism, they also don't teach that he comes there, that he is coming. That's all metaphorically, by the way, the revelations about Jesus in the sky. Yeah, I do believe in biblical scripture, I believe in God, but yeah, I believe in my own perspective. I trust my own perspective. I trust my own instinctions on reading the Bible.
All right. Well, okay. Well, that being said, I hope that Andrew and Christian have a really good time, have fun during their debate, educate people, and it sounds like that they respect each other, which, by the way, I happen to like.
Appreciate it, Steve. Thank you.
The mystery of faith.
What'd you say, dude?
Well, the mystery of faith. I think that a lot of theologians would view it as kind of a profound mystery, but then would find rational arguments and reasons for the Trinity. There's also a way in which the ontological and metaphysical argumentation that the two of you will set forth is outside of what can be measured. So it's oftentimes very much rooted in scripture interpretation and understanding of the physical world. So it will be a great debate. I listened to both of you. Looking forward to it. Not one of you can truly be the winner until any one of us actually truly figure it all out.
No, actually, that's not true, sir, because a lot of times what they do is they have people vote, and they win by vote.
Consensus then is true?
Yes. And by the way, a lot of people who vote may vote for the person giving the opposing argument because they think they were a better debater. In other words, if you have an atheist arguing against God and a theist on the other side arguing for God, some atheists might vote for the theist because they thought they did a better job debating.
So those subjective votes matter when it comes to objective?
Nope, no, sir. It depends on the rules. Whatever rules they agree to, that's what matters. And by the way, for those of you that don't know, this is one reason, the main reason why a lot of politicians take so much time deciding to do a debate and who they're going to debate, because they want the rules to favor their style of debate.
And that's true. By the way, Andrew,
He's a master debater.
Oh wow,
That was new. I've never heard that one before.
I know. But yeah, very original. Andrew, I did send you times via Discord, so if you would like to take a look, please.
All right, man. Thank you.
And if you decide or can't decide where to have it, the Atheism House would obviously volunteer to have the debate here. And if you can't find a moderator, I would be happy to volunteer. But that's up to you guys, and I will not feel upset if you don't pick either one of them. It's fine for you guys.
That's awesome.
Honestly, Andrew, I don't want to dedicate the room to deciding all this, but I think the suggestion is great. I think that having Steve as a mod would actually be amazing.
What better place to have a debate about God than in the Atheism House?
I agree. No, I think it's great. And not only that, it's also unbiased, because remember, Steve doesn't show up in your rooms that often in comparison to Bob and Commerce and Albedo and you know,
And
all
when
that.
I do show up, I get fucking slammed. And they go, why are you here, dude? And I said, because Andrew invites me in, otherwise I wouldn't.
No, I think that's a good suggestion. Yeah, let's hammer it down, Christian, in the back channel, buddy. And
Yeah, please do. Yeah, Discord's open.
Have you guys ever given thought to the idea that, you know, artificial intelligence may, like, break apart, like, the demonic dimensions and let it loose across the world?
I think AI could be really.
What the fuck are demonic dimensions?
I don't know about
Alright, so.
What is Mom babbling about?
JCC. So there's an interesting YouTuber. He talks about this, and basically, so he makes the argument. Large language. Man, this is a difficult argument. I'll try my very best. So
North
what he
America,
says is
every
large
bike lane in
language models are
Chicago
kind of like computers,
and
but
Page
not
Street
really,
parking.
and it's the not
See
really
the
part
Abu
that's
Dhabi
really
investment authority from
difficult to
far.
understand. So. Computers, if you blew them up really, really big, let me know if you're with me so far, and you turned all of the whatever transistors into like water pipes, you could like literally build, I don't know, Microsoft Office using like pipes of water, and if you had enough pipes and you had enough water and the systems were constructed with enough finesse and complexity, you could run a massive computer-like operating system using, you know, very archaic things. Do you understand this concept? Like everything within transistors and microchips, it's all physical, right? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, right. So you take the microchip and you blow it up like 10 million times, and then you can translate all of the transistors into like physical, I don't know, like wooden, you know, old-fashioned wooden Dutch, like, you know, water pipes or some things like moving through a city. So, okay, you understand so far.
I don't think it relates to the electrical data that is transmitted by, you know, smart boards in a computer.
Right, it doesn't, because there's too much resistance and larger systems. That's a problem. There's too much, the water wouldn't flow quickly enough. But hypothetically, what you could do is just sort of imagine you took a microchip and you blew it up 10 million times. You could walk through it like a city. Everything there is physical, right? Okay, that's the old-fashioned computers. What this weird fellow says, and I'd have to put down his YouTube channel, is that you can only get so far in large language models doing this because you need back propagation, and the back propagation kind of allows these physical objects to insert a degree of randomness. Now, that's actually where they become much more intelligent than without randomness. And so this scientist that hosts this YouTube channel, he is trying to drill into what is randomness. And randomness is actually found in the physical universe. It's within physics, but nobody can describe it, because if you can describe it, then it just becomes another fixated system within the laws of physics, right? But if you drill down into the laws of physics, you can only say an atom can exist within a certain degree of area in space. But you, Otter understands this stuff actually quite well. So, but you cannot pinpoint it to the extreme accuracy. And, you know, scientists observe this. This is the law of probability in the realm of subatomic particles. But when you allow for this to take place within back propagation, this also allows for randomness to be inserted into these large language models, which makes them more intelligent. So this scientist believes that if we go so far, Otter, maybe you can help me out with this because you're way better at computers than I am, hopefully. What this fellow is saying is he believes that the randomness found or the randomness that is specifically employed in back
This raises
propagation
further into oblivion.
within the most advanced artificial
artificial intelligent models can actually end up opening a door into like demonic dimension. I don't know. Maybe Pro understands what this guy was like. It was I just remember seeing this. Oh,
I've heard something. Yeah, I've heard something very similar. I mean, just a little bit to add to that. Like I think, like once you have a series of these back propagations, that once they accumulate, you get into something called gradient descent, right? Gradient descent. And now the problem with gradient descent is if you descend too far, you reach the sort of the very pits of hell, right? Like Dante's Inferno. So the job that these like AI scientists have to do is tricky. They need the gradient descent to work, but they can't let it go down too far. It's a bit like in the Lord of the Rings, right, where the dwarves like they dug too deep, right, and they woke up the Balrog.
Yeah, it's a really weird thing because this scientist, he basically splits the laws of physics into very measurable, everything is measurable and solid, and everything in the universe is material. But then there's this mysterious force, which is this quote-unquote randomness, which no scientists can really, how would you say, explain, like they can't articulate it. And basically, up till now, 2026 or whatever, we've been observing this randomness in subatomic particles with the laws of probability saying, okay, like, this electron will probably pop up in this area and maybe it does or maybe it doesn't, right? So we've always been observers of this, but now he believes that we're actually fucking around with this randomness and employing it or using it, like demanding its use. And he's worried that if we fuck around with this randomness into back propagation, that all hell could break loose. But I have okay, Russ, maybe you come on up here and help me out.
This was a YouTube video, you said?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I was talking about the laws of probability, you said?
Man, I'm honestly, Riddle, I'm probably getting all of this wrong. I'm just trying to this is a fucking weird video, but it was fascinating.
I haven't seen the same video, but I've heard like a similar story. The problem with the back propagation and how it builds up in the gradient descent. And there's something called like second order gradient descent, which is like it works like something that accelerated process. I think like randomness, right? Like randomness in physics is just the same as entropy, right? And entropy increases the universe.
Okay, I got it here. I'll read to you what ChatGPT says. So it says, randomness means unpredictability, chance, and should be more noise persistent. So the creator of this video, he's arguing that AI needs randomness to become flexible, creative. That's true. Without randomness, AI would become very mechanical and very repetitive, like I was saying, just a machine, anything else. But randomness produces surprising, strange, almost alive patterns. And by demons, what he means is that these kind of informational demons, strange personalities, voices, patterns, or entities that seem to emerge from chaotic information systems like AI. Not literal demons which exist, but a metaphor for eerie, seemingly intelligent patterns that appear when randomness and other symbols of human imaginations all interact. Basically, this video says randomness creates possibilities, possibilities creates unexpected patterns, and some of those patterns may look like AI or the moment.
That's right. And I think this stuff was like important in predicting like before computers were invented. I think like Maxwell, James Clerk Maxwell was like one of the pioneers. Like he predicted that there were these things called Maxwell demons, like operated by like managing the entropy of like physical systems and so on. But like if you go too complicated a system, like something
Yeah, well, Jeff, he was saying, he was giving, sorry, what he said, AIs are actually very human-like is because they hallucinate. So, for example, if you pull the mirror up to ChatGPT and you put on the video and it's like, like an image of a bird, and you're showing just very, you say, what is this? Oh, this is a picture of a bird. Like, no, it's actually, a mirror reflecting a picture of a bird, right? So it doesn't measure reality one for one. It interprets reality just in the same way that we can only interpret through our particular lens. Yeah. Well, we all think so. Always.
And apparently, the other thing is like another part of like another kind of like meaning that now that we use these machine learning models is they call cross entropy. And yeah, I mean, it's just nonsense that speeds up the creation of entropy, right? I think there's a real like it's so good about like one of the things is like I've seen the Large Hadron Collider. There was a serious concern that there was going to be like that we would create like black holes.
Yeah, but they fucking did it anyways. They're like, we can't be destroying the universe, but let's just do it anyways.
Or that's just about doing cool things, right? Like that have the consequences.
It's crazy. But it's nice, it's the fear of the guy waking up as a superstition. It's not that it's waking up, it's just that you can be super capable.
Yeah, exactly. It's the fact that it's able to have such a large influence on humanity that it turns into that it is something that benefits us. That's essentially what it comes down to. Which we're already seeing the effects of. We barely had what we consider now to have like top of the line advanced AI. Now, which is just scary to think about what it could be in 5 to 10 years. That could be.
Well, I'm interested in that. I mean, I don't know, that is all the book of Revelations, right? Like the words of like the hour of the beast. Right? Now, what's interesting, I think it's a bit of a stretch. It's like not going to drawing too much counsel about this, but like, I think it's suggested that like the king letters don't return and add them up in the standards of the dollar, you actually get 666. So, I don't know, it seems to be dismissing these things just because they're all scientists.
Yeah, but I can say this. I don't want to say this for certain. I love history, and a lot of the time, as you guys know, like for example, we have a Trinitarian here and Unitarian here. When every time there's a new information system or a new series of technologies released into the world, new religions are created, something that's worldwide, something like that. And then, very obviously we have fucking way for everything too, right? So I honestly think that as AI gets more and more powerful, I can definitely see, we're seeing the rise of anti-Semitism. Israel's probably the least liked country in the world right now. Actually, that's what a bunch of polls I just looked up said. And by chance, a lot of the owners of several of the owners of the large AI companies are Jewish, and I can just imagine sort of, people are stupid. They always want to find someone to blame. But I do see this sort of when people start losing their jobs, they're going to blame the Jews again, and they're going to say, this AI is demonic, and I just see it. I just see it moving.
So, just confirm, like,
Not to get right where I just see it as demonic.
Probably me.
Exactly. Yeah. So it means like, my wife's a bookkeeper all the bookkeepers in the world are fired, and all the half the university professors are fired. If life is turned upside down because of AI and people are losing their jobs, I just exactly what fucking Marshall was saying. Like, people are gonna blame the Jews.
And with that, I would like to welcome Lynn to the stage. No one knows who Lynn is, but you're about to find out. Lynn, welcome.
Hello, Christian.
Hello.
You want to tell them who I am, or you can make them guess?
No, you can tell them. You can tell them.
No, you can tell them. You introduce me.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Jeez, I just had to.
What's your respect, young man?
JCC, I don't want to hear from you. No,
Hey, Frenchie, thanks for coming up, Frenchie. How are
oh,
you?
yes, I think I invited you. So, Lynn is my grandmother. Lynn is my, so for anyone who's not met her, she's a sweetheart. Yeah, she's a Christian, like me, not Unitarian, though I haven't gotten that far into it. We'll change that. Not yet, not yet. But, yeah, this is Lynn.
So Lynn's a Trinitarian and you're not?
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
So what denomination does it make you?
What do you mean, what do you mean, what denominations?
If you don't believe in Trinity,
Like you said.
I'm considered a Protestant. I'm a Unitarian, though. I'm so Unitarian.
that's what I mean. Like what denomination, Protestant, Methodist, Presbyterian, that kind of thing.
Yeah, Protestant.
All right, cool, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Protestant's such a generalized title, though, because really it's like any other, denomination, something like Catholicism or Orthodox, and things like that. So it's really, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's what it's meant to be. It's meant to know the separation from Eastern Orthodoxy and from Catholicism.
Yeah, well, okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I would put you in. So, Marshall's right.
No, Marshall is right.
It's just, anything that's not just the causes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Andrew, this is a great time. Andrew, are you there, brother? Oh, yes.
Bubba Bubba or just Bubba?
Which one? Nah, it's
Do they still make Hubba Bubba Bubba Gum?
They do, yes. It's like one of the top gun. Like, this is one of the top gun brands. Yeah. I love it. What was I going to talk about? Oh, yes, Lynn. Did you hear me and Adrian were going to be having a formal debate on the Trinity tomorrow?
I did hear about that.
Oh.
It was here and it was being talked about.
Oh.
Let me know if you don't want to train me there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he saw us answer for one time, but yes. What's up, Clips tonight? Welcome on stage. Welcome, Alfonso. What's up, Alfonso?
What time and where?
So, from what is being talked about, it's probably going to be somewhere in the evening, probably somewhere around 4:35 PST, Pacific time. Probably could be later than that, depends. Yeah, on this app tomorrow, it's going to be easy houses, same houses we are at right now. Steve's probably going to be moderating. Maybe, yeah, but it seems like we both kind of agreed to that. That's for right now. We just have to confirm it.
What's the
Oh, what's the title? No, essentially the title is
Nice.
yeah, six.
Yeah, I don't think this debate's going to go away prior to this. That's the problem. Final is that there's some things that we hope to construct our denomination.
That's correct. Yeah, this is his first formal debate, at least for what we know of him. Yeah. Which is interesting because I've had many formal debates on here. I've had so many on various things. So I have a pretty solid track record in comparison to Andrew's. 0-0, clean slate, absolutely no former formal debate experience. Skippy.
Well, you talk about it, rapid debates are not necessarily,
They're more formalized than like a conversation, Jason.
yeah, I agree, but it's not like the same format as a truth.
No. I've engaged in plenty of formal debates, outside of Clubhouse, but yeah, we'll see what happens, and it's a 3v1, 3 Trinitarians versus me.
I think that needs to be adjusted.
You think so? You think you can go one-on-one?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, that was Andrew's idea, Trinity, right? Get all three Trinitarians.
JCC's correct. It's just two people that has been to this together. On the other hand, right?
Wait, is that one of the kitty in the background?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I wrote that in my,
No, it's okay. I was just wondering because I could hear it, and I was wondering if that was
well, it was she's, I don't know, she's being something.
Yeah, I don't even want to dive into those. Yeah, that's not in my plan. Crimsonite. So you're atheist, right? You're an atheist.
Whoa.
No, sorry to disappoint. I've been a Christian for 22.
Oh shit. What the
I started out as typical conservative Baptist denomination. I've since transitioned to the Armenian denomination. It's a Protestant denomination.
Oh, Protestant denomination. Okay. All right. Yeah, I just read your profile. Trinitarian. I'm not even going to try to pronounce Wesleyan Armenian Christian. Incompatibilist, but yeah. Huh. Well, that's cool. Well, at least I'm not the only Protestant on stage, eh? We love that.
No, I'm Presbyterian.
Oh, never mind then.
I'm a straight up Calvinist.
Wait, you're a Calvinist?
That's what Presbyterians are.
Oh, I didn't know, that's why
I didn't know either.
You're Presbyterian or Calvinist.
Jeez, I did not know. You see, this is why I need to ask more questions when I meet people.
Are you a part of the elect there, Marshall?
No, theory is bullshit. It's been explained to me a dozen times, and every time it's explained to me, it never convinces me. I'm like, but, that's supposed to be random, not chosen. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So I reject that part of Presbyterianism. So I don't understand it, and I'm not convinced by it.
Alfonso, welcome to the room. I kind of gave you like a 1 second, 1 second recognition. How you doing?
Doing good, thanks. How are you, Chris?
I'm doing just fine and dandy.
Great.
Yeah. Let's see, who have we not addressed, JCC? Remind me.
Carlos, Frenchie, we said hi to Frenchie. Hans, Hans, you got any questions, Hans, for me? Hans is unique.
Yeah, I do. Thanks, JC. But I just need 5 minutes. I'm pulling a tractor out of a ditch, so just give me a couple minutes.
Oh, yeah, take all the time you need.
I'd like to ask a question. This is a sincere question.
Who's it for?
The atheists.
Oh, okay, that's not me then. JCC.
Present accounted for.
I've been on this app for a little over 4 years now, and I haven't really interacted much with atheists until about a year and a half ago, when I started going more into Andrew's rooms. Prior to that, I was just mainly confronting Calvinists and other, Black Hebrew Israelites and whatever, Muslims. So what I've noticed is there appears to be this appearance, and that's what I'm basically asking about, is whether or not this appearance is valid. It appears to me that most atheists, or at least the ones that identify as atheists, are inclined towards the position of global atheism. But whenever the conversation shifts towards a one-on-one clash between theism and atheism, it seems like they shift more towards a lack-theist position, or a local atheist position. So what they do is, or at least what I've experienced is, they shift the conversation towards, well, let's discuss how the Brahma God is not real, and we're Allah, God of the Bible. So just to cap it off, the question would be, is any atheist here, does any atheist here actually affirm global atheism? And if so, I'd like to hear an argument for that. Not because I want to have something in front of me to attack, but really, I haven't heard any. I might have heard Matt Dillahunty put an argument for global atheism, but it's a very long time ago. It might have been on his call-in talk show on YouTube. But other than that, it's when I talk to an atheist here like JCC, he said, well, it's not that I deny X deity, I just lack belief in it, or neutral. So
I am the person you're looking for.
cool, awesome, thanks for that. Yeah, what would be a conservative argument that a global atheist typically puts forward in defense of their position?
So, I've never heard the word global atheism, but I know for a fact that there is no God, right? That's my stance. Unless you use the word God as a metaphor to say that, the presence of God is in this room because I'm learning, because I'm evolving, because I'm connecting, because there's love in the air or whatever. But if any other definition of a personal God is, to me, absolutely outrageous. He was a Hindu child. I was born again evangelical Christian for a while. And just because of some trauma and some harsh things that I went through, I became very, very strict about the way I assess reality, very critical about assumptions or beliefs, or knowing the way the world functions, how humans behave, how things come to pass. And as I went on, it was clear to me that there was no way there could be such a God.
I can sympathize with that.
When you say global atheist, what do you mean by that? Do you just mean a generic God, or are you looking for an argument against a generic God?
whatsoever.
Yeah, well, I can answer that quickly then. Yeah, so I define God as an eternal conscious creator. So eternal just always existed. Conscious has awareness, able to make decisions, that kind of thing. And the creator just has sufficient power to bring about the observable universe, right? So that's what you mean by a global. Sorry,
Yeah.
that's what you mean by a generic God.
Hey, can I ask a question?
Yeah. Sorry, I haven't finished.
Am I able to ask a question? Because you guys are
Yeah, just hold on. You're interrupting. Just be
Yeah.
patient.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, it is your bad. Just hang on. What?
Bitch, fuck my dick. I said what I said.
Oh, bye-bye.
Job.
God damn, what's wrong with people these days?
Yeah, so if that's what we mean by God, then like atheists could affirm some kind of naturalism, which isn't, doesn't have a mind, doesn't make decisions, isn't aware. And, if you take like Occam's razor, which is just, whatever's the simplest theory, which has less parts, is a hypothesis to be preferred. So you could just say that naturalism is an eternal creator without the consciousness. So it lacks like one additional property that God has and is simpler. So that would be like an argument.
Okay, so basically you're putting forth the position that that naturalism as a mechanism can account for certain phenomena that at times appear to be the result of an intelligence, basically, right?
Correct, yeah. And
Okay.
And the main thing is it is simpler because it can explain all the same data with less parts to it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, to what Alfonso was saying, being a Christian for over 2 decades, I definitely can sympathize with what Alfonso was saying. And believe me, I'm someone of not out of the usual group of believers. I suffer from an extreme case of anxiety that manifests in all different ways. And it's like a constant agony every waking moment. But so my faith has been somewhat of a roller coaster, up and down. And I will readily concede the possibility that Christianity could very well be a false religion. I hope it's not, because as a human being, I prefer to. I would like there to be a benevolent, all-powerful, companion that's out there. But aside from Christianity, I have been putting effort into defending the idea of more of a generic God that possesses more or less the omni properties of, or like Carlos was saying, if not omni properties, then at least power sufficient enough to create this universe and whatever others. So
what do you think of the argument?
Well,
because it sounds like you're saying it's possible that you could be wrong and that atheism could be true. So like this form of naturalism that I've presented is like there's no contradiction with it, right? That's a possible world that we could be living in.
aside from the foundational philosophical aspect of it, I would say logically, it's conceivable that you could have a natural mechanism of some kind that produces things that appear to be fine-tuned. And just like the phenomena of pareidolia, you see faces and clouds in the mountains. And so while it's possible that there was an airplane that was flying around shaping the clouds to produce that appearance of a face or some other recognizable shape, it's also equally possible that it was just a natural wind current and everything. And this applies to the sides of mountains and something. So this gets into the discussion of fine tuning, and the fine tuning argument is something that I've only recently begun to become more familiar with. And it hasn't been easy trying to get a precise range of just how fine-tuned the universe is, because different people say different things. And the AI has not been completely helpful either. But it sounds like, just from the Penrose equation on just the fine-tuning of the force of gravity being one in, it's really high enough. I don't even remember the number. What the question then boils down to, because like what you were saying earlier, Carlos, that why look at this universe, even if it is fine-tuned to X degree? Why not look at it as being the product of a natural process as opposed to an intelligence? And for me, I think the symmetry breaker is because living as a human being, I have predominantly been exposed to the high occurrence of the correlation between that which is fine-tuned to that being to intentionality or design is what, from a Bayesian perspective, is what gives me the consideration that it was done by intelligence. While logically it could have been a random process as well. So, like I was asking Deepak earlier, because a couple weeks ago he was talking about the firing squad example about someone who is convicted of a crime and is to be executed by firing squad. You have dozens of professional marksmen all aimed at you, and after they fired, for whatever reason, the bullets the rifles misfired. A collection of all these different circumstances just coalesce and converge to the result of you surviving it unscathed. And I think you said something like that instead of that, without having a proper sample size to be able to map out a probability range for how much expectation you should have for that event occurring, that you shouldn't, or at least he said he wouldn't immediately jump to the conclusion that it was orchestrated by an intelligence.
It's you.
So I think that gets across what I'm saying, right? Is that it logically could just be the case that it was a random procession of events that converged to the singular result of the criminal not being executed.
Just to be clear, I wasn't arguing for fine tuning. I was arguing more about simplicity, like saying that doing a hypothesis comparison, whichever hypothesis can explain the same data but has less parts to it. I'm saying the simpler hypothesis is to be preferred, regardless of the parameters that are set in the universe. So do you think that a hypothesis that has less parts to it is to be preferred? Do you think that?
In terms of simplicity, I'm not currently ready to take that leap, only because the idea of, so for example, Sean Carroll has appealed to the universal wave function as being valid. Many atheists, probably not all, but if it was something like the wave function, I have read, I'm a complete novice when it comes to this kind of stuff, so anybody who knows more about the wave function, just please jump in. But that the wave function is something that is supposed to be unguided yet deterministic. It functions deterministically. So if you all conditions being the same, you rewind the clock back to the moment of the Big Bang, the initial expansion would have still happened the same way, unless you altered the prior conditions. So if that's the case, machine or mechanism we're talking about here, and how is it that it is? How did it come to be? Was it always there? Was there always a
Is
universal
this
way of functioning?
altruism?
You know,
The taxpayer vote.
how is it so intricate in
This
its
money stolen from the
arrangement of
pension
all these
fund, which is
different
not being funded. Where did the money come
parameters?
from?
So on the principle of parsimony, you don't have a view on that then? You don't? So like, if someone's presenting you two hypotheses, one has like 10 parts to explain the data, and the other hypothesis has 3 parts to explain the data, the simpler, you don't have a position on whether the simpler hypothesis is to be preferred. That's what I was arguing.
Yes, I will. Yeah. I can go with that. That the simpler hypothesis should be preferred, but
Good
for
job.
the time being, what I'm having trouble with right now is seeing how such a naturalistic view of creation is simpler to divine creation.
Well, the point is that if I'm defining God as an eternal conscious creator, I can define naturalism as an eternal creator without the consciousness. So it has less parts to it, but it still explains the sense. So I'm just saying, you know, as a hypothesis, it to be preferred because it explains all the same things with less baggage, less to account for. That's what I'm arguing for. And if you think that hypothesis is preferred, then maybe this would be persuasive in some way.
Yeah, I get that part. That in the sense of it having fewer components to this universal creative mechanism, that it makes it simpler that way. But in my opinion, it seems to create more problems elsewhere, and that's where the fine tuning comes in. Is that if you take away the consciousness or intentionality, at least, there seems like you have a greater difficulty accounting for the appearance of fine tuning. So,
I don't think that's the case if we're just talking about a generic God, though. We're just talking about like an eternal conscious creator with no other attributes to it. I mean, if you posit like a specific type of intentional creator, then perhaps you'll get like a situation where the intentional being is going to preclude the naturalism, because naturalism obviously is a non-intentionalist. But if we're just saying like a generic God, generic naturalism with no other attributes, it seems like it'd be fitting, maybe at least, if not to prefer naturalism because it's simpler. If we're just talking a generic God, but we could posit all types of intentional beings that are well, right? Like an evil God or a God that just wants a single atom in it or something like that, you know, or wants a world where the parameters are different. I don't know. We could do that, but we're not talking about a specific God. We're just talking about a generic God. So I think if we do that, then the sort of analogy between that and the naturalist comparison seems to be equal, I would say.
okay, no, that sounds fair. So then, if it is exactly equal, then the symmetry breaker would be something else added to that.
Yeah, parsimony. Or simplicity, yeah.
So this is where it gets into the philosophical aspect of the discussion. I'm kind of tired of the presuppositional talk. But who was the gentleman who?
Yeah, that's all I had to say.
Presbyterian.
That's all I had to say anyway. But if anyone else wants to chime in, feel free.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate the insight you've given. And believe me, I get quite close to that sometimes. But over the years, it's it's just become more simple for me to defend the position of intelligent creation from a Christian perspective that has made my Christian walk and philosophy simpler. That's not to say that it's true, but that's just the ironic side of this discussion from my personal experience. But what I was going to say was the other gentleman that identified as a Presbyterian, so-called Calvinist, which, by the way, I don't think is what they call true Calvinists. We have monarchists and basically a determinist that holds all 5 points of tulip. But Calvinists routinely utilize the suppositional argument. So what they would say, and feel free to push back on all you want. I'm not going to go to bat for it tonight. Is that in order that the precondition for intelligibility itself has to be something like a God. And the reason for this is that if you use reasoning as a rational creature to arrive at any conclusion, you first have to acknowledge that there exists a set of universal laws of logic, and that this logical law is not physical, and that it's transcendent somehow. Because if it's physical, then it can change. It could change in a way that we might not be able to tell. So what's truth today could be different, however many years in the future, or extrapolate backwards. So if you accept that premise that there exists this universal set of logical law, and that we are physical creatures, doesn't speak to dualism or idealism. Just that the human consciousness is eminent from the physical brain, and that's fine also. But just that, from a general standpoint, that we are physical creatures and that we have access to these laws of logic, and we utilize it to be creatures of reason and rationality. That there must be a facilitator for that access, which is not the laws of logic themselves, since the laws of logic themselves are not a conscious entity. So if you have a facilitator that is non-conscious, then I think what they say is you run into the problem of fallibility. Is that while it connects you to the laws of logic and you have access to it, that there are times when there are, just flukes happen, and you become irrational for a period of time and without realizing it. That makes it self-refuting to argue from the position of there being a facilitator of your access to the laws of logic, being non-personal and non-conscious, is that it compromises the integrity of the conclusion you arrived at by using those laws of logic. And so the more philosophically apparent option is to believe that there is a conscious facilitator for how we are able to access the laws of logic, and that this facilitator is conscious, has the means and the intentionality to convey to us certain basic truths to such that we can't be wrong about them. And there you go. And then so you arrive at the end, the conclusion being that the theist worldview, such as that of Christianity, or even Islam, I'm not sure they would ever say that. But as long as you have an Abrahamic type of God that is omnipotent and that has is sovereign in all ways, has the highest standard for morality, benevolence, and all of that, then your worldview is secured along with your rational thinking. So that's what they say. And
I applaud you for your criticism not being a look looking on high down your nose criticism as a theist, as a Presbyterian. I really appreciate that. Those kinds of conversations you just had were the most productive ones.
Cool. I was gonna say, thank you. I was gonna say, Crimson, I think you run into the same issue that the presuppositionalists run into, like Van Til and Bonson and those people, where they say, they wanna make the move for God by saying, well, God has to be the precondition for intelligibility, and here's why X, Y, Z and stuff. But it turns out, isn't it also true that God has intelligibility already? And how could that be? How does this avoid circularity, or begging the question? If the precondition for intelligibility is something that already has intelligibility, are you running into the same issue that they run into? Yes, this is referred to as the virtuous circularity phenomena of the Trinity, I think they call it. It's that knowledge is not only grounded in this triune entity, but it's also circularly being revealed between the three persons. And so they make the Christian God unique in that they identify him as a revelatory, benevolent agent, as opposed to one that is brute, meaning singular person, everything singular. And the argument for that is that which is singular, that which is a brute contingency lacks physical intelligibility due to the absence of external frames of reference. So what you basically have is like a rubber ruler, and you could change it, you wouldn't be able to tell. I'm not as familiar with that aspect of the argument, so I can't speak to anything on that, but that's just what I've heard, to the best that I can paraphrase that. So, to my surprise, though, even Greg Bonson didn't formalize a syllogism, because I tried to look it up, but I didn't see one. It was really short. It's Modus Tollens syllogism that goes, hang on a second, because I pulled it up. Goes, I don't know about his Modus Tollens thing, but what I understand from what people say about Greg Bonson, I haven't read any of his stuff, but usually the precept people will say, when I point this out to them, they'll say there's this distinction between virtuous circularity and vicious circularity, and you brought that up, but in formal logic, there's no distinction between those. Something's either circular or it's not. There's no distinction between those things, and I think Bonson is just saying, until they're just kind of saying, listen, man, my circularity is the good kind. I don't think it is. If you ask me, why is the virtuously circular argument any more robust than one that is not, virtuously circular? I wouldn't be able to answer that. But what Greg Bonson outlines is point number one: God is the necessary precondition for logic, morality, and intelligible experience. Point number two: logic, morality, and intelligible experience exists. Point number three: therefore God exists. So this is Modus Tollens, but of course not one of them rejected because it seems to be affirming the consequence. But that's all I got with him.
If I can real quick. I believe one of the foremost, or one of the greatest evidences for an intelligent facilitator is the fact that independence is an illusion, just in nature in and of itself. Everything has an interdependent, symbiotic nature to it, right?
Nothing is truly independent. So it's like a baby isn't just born from air. You know, something always has to precede it. So my thing is just by the very nature of the universe, you know what I'm saying? That nature, I would say that that's enough evidence of a intelligent facilitator, in my personal opinion. But I'm gonna keep it right there, my last.
Like I don't know what the rules are in this room. Like what you're about to say in chat. But there's stuff that shouldn't be said in the chat that is in the chat.
It was directed at me out there. I do have a small circle of followers that quite motivated to disparage me, but that's okay. That tends to happen.
I'm not talking about your feelings being hurt. I'm talking about what, like, what's a starter saying? I don't know what the rules are in the room, but usually we just delete those kinds of.
To what Carlos was saying earlier, assuming that we're working that the natural state of affairs of this universe that we're experiencing is such that it was constructed from a mechanistic entity, non-conscious and non-personal, something like the wave function would suffice, and that this universe, the product that it produced, eventually led to us. Now, if as tiny little human beings, that if the from the naturalist worldview, if the brain is something that was able to develop on its own, through mutation, natural selection, that physical matter can be arranged in such a way as to cause the phenomena we call consciousness to emerge, then would it really be far-fetched to, again, this is to the naturalist, would it be far-fetched to theorize, hypothesize a similar condition with the universe creating machine? After all, it seems to be, from the way that Sean Carroll describes the universal wave function, it seems to be almost on a platonic level. That it's so intricate and so complex that it defies comprehension. And yet, the human brain, relative to that, is if it's far simpler, then it seems like to me the only compromise there would be in affirming that possibility is to have to face, in addition to that, the possibility that this semi-conscious universe-creating wave machine, or wave function machine, has certain godlike properties that has implications on maybe morality and that kind of stuff, which circles you back around to theism. But other than that, you could, I guess it's all in the way you define it, right? You could, if it's such that it's not, like in the Stephen King novel, where there's this turtle-like creature that I think is is an extra dimensional being, but it has godlike properties, and yet it's powerful enough to create universes, yet simple enough to almost be of no intelligence to us. So for example, if you were to encounter this being, it'd just be there, as if you're looking at a boulder. It's not moving, doesn't appear to be thinking, it's not communicating to you, at least on this human time scale, and yet it produces all these parallel universes, and from these universes you get these extra dimensional intelligent beings. One of them is the spider-like extraterrestrial that manifests as a clown Pennywise, and so on. But I mean, something like that would suffice the condition of it being godlike, as well as being non-personal to the point where its existence is of no
Probably
consequence
stars.
to you and I. Hypothetically, if there is something like that out there, it's just a simple matter of fact that there is this thing that is semi-conscious that created all these parallel worlds, but that in terms of the human existence, it's such that it's of no difference one way or another. And so I guess you could say that in that kind of situation, it's equally feasible or simpler to simply affirm the global atheist position. Is that there is nothing that high up on a level of existence that is interacting with us, wanting us to pray to it, and it taking sides in our conflicts. And yeah, that's all I have to say with that.
I'm not too sure what point you were trying to make, because you started talking about consciousness emerging or whatever, or something along those lines, which obviously, as a naturalist, I would probably prefer that position. But,
The sacred word in American English, the N word.
It's like any other emergent in the universe. Pretty much everything we see is special plea for consciousness. That would be my position. But yeah, I mean, like if you talk about like an intentional creator, like you said before, we just talked about a generic creator without any qualities. Yeah, you can have an impersonal, conscious creator, the deist type God. That would be one of the versions of God, an eternal conscious creator. Right. It still fits.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
You could construct a whole number of eternal conscious creators, an evil God, a God, an intentional being that just wants to be universal.
Did you alert everyone?
You can construct a whole many versions of that as well.
Saw ice in the area.
But right. I'm not quite sure what you're trying to make about conscious being impersonal.
Did you alert everyone? I saw ice in the area.
The conscious aspect of the condition is such that if you envision that which created this universe as being non-conscious and impersonal, but yet still retains complexity and in its structure, because it behaves deterministically, then logically you could project, or at least entertain the possibility that the structure of the human brain, in all mammalian brains, I guess, is that the arrangement of matter and energy within that brain, which constitutes the emergence of consciousness, can be afforded to this universal wave function or this universe creating machine, but not to the point where it behaves not in the sense that it behaves in such a way that it is relational to us, and that's where I went with the Stephen King, universe-creating turtle analogy, is that while it meets the condition of it being a conscious creator or a godlike entity, it's of no on the human scale, it's of no consequence to them whatsoever. So that's all I was saying with the consciousness aspect is that if the material brain can generate
The
consciousness,
most
then
sacred
it
word.
could be arised at the same that the universe creating machine also possesses this
Sacred
to some
word.
degree. But that even if it does, you can save from compromising on the atheist position by just defending the idea that it has no intention to interact with us, and so therefore we're living in a world that is parallel to a globally atheist universe anyway. So what you'd be doing then is to steer the conversation around to sort of
Can't get there. The bike lanes restricted all the
what it means to
traffic.
be talking about God. And that's where the conversation wouldn't become unreasonable, in my honest opinion, because whenever anyone talks about God, it's always in the context of it being relational to them somehow. So if it lacks that characteristic, if it's not behaving in a way that's relational to you, there's no relationship between you and this universe-creating entity. And it's the same thing as if we're living in an atheist universe anyway, a globally, a truly atheist universe.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like an eternal conscious creator that doesn't want to
trans
interact
art.
with us is possible. Yeah, I mean,
This art is trans art.
and obviously, if I'm arguing for simplicity, then that impersonal conscious creator is also parallel with a non-conscious creator that doesn't both don't have evidence of a relationship. Then it's just going to be simpler to adopt the naturalist version because it has less parts to it, there's less baggage. So essentially, yeah. So you agree then that you prefer a version that's simpler, that has less parts and less baggage to it, if everything else seems to be.
So this circles back around to my perspective is that there would be personal testimonials and experiences that gives me currently greater confidence that there is a benevolent companion, a godlike companion that wants relationship with me, as all Muslims, Christians, and other theists would say. But I suppose, like Steve is. He used to be I think he said he used to be an Orthodox Jew, and then certain life experiences gave him the epiphany that, or at least to him, he honestly felt like there was really nothing out there. There was just nothing but indifference, nothing really looking out for him. It was just him on his own in his life, and so he gravitated to atheism. So in my case, it's conceivable that I could undergo a similar experience in the future. I've certainly experienced a good number of burdensome things in the past, but eventually I could go off the edge and say, it really doesn't feel like there's and that's the aspect of atheism that I sympathize with. It is the internal struggle, the emotional struggle, and the turmoil that arises. Because when you're taught that there's a benevolent God out there and how capable He is and how He works all things for good, then you begin to live your life with a certain set of expectations. And when they fall short of it, then that's when your faith diminishes in proportion to how much disappointment you're met with. So I understand that struggle, sympathize with that. I can sympathize with you guys who have experienced that. all day long. But on the general question of theism and atheism, I think it's currently simpler to affirm the Christian position. That is for the time being. But again, I may change my mind in the future.
Yeah, I think if you add extra properties onto the eternal conscious creator, like omnibenevolence and something in line with what you think the Christian God is affirming, then yeah, obviously then that's going to generate new expectations that a simpler version, just the eternal conscious creator without the omnibenevolence wouldn't have predicted, right? So yeah, if you add on extra properties, but obviously we were just talking about a generic God and whether that's when you compare that to a generic naturalist version, whether one is to be preferred or not. I guess what you'd have to do is to argue whether, this additional thing that I'm saying is not needed, is superfluous, this consciousness or intention to explain everything is necessary. So some people try to argue that actually, no, you do actually need intention, you need a selector, for creation or whatever, you need some decision making property to be there, and obviously naturalism.
Believers, it says non-believers and polytheists are the worst of worst people. And then what?
No, it doesn't